All right, everybody. Good afternoon, late afternoon now. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got ourselves an injury report, the first injury report of the week, and it looks a little daunting at first, but once you dig in, not quite so bad. We're getting the latest from Nemhauser. Saw this from several of the other reporters as well. So let's take a look, starting with the Seahawks side of things, keeping in mind this was a walkthrough. Wednesday was a walkthrough day. So everything's an estimation, and we won't really know what's going on for sure until we get to tomorrow. So, with that being said, there is some good stuff here, some good indicators of having a relatively healthy team on Sunday. We've got, first of all, let's just get the Kobe Bryant one out of the way. Personal matter, not injury related, didn't practice. That's not something that we are concerned about, though. More after the break. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today, get to it, and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, so that one we're not worried about. We're also not worried about JSN showing up here, resting, limited participant. So just he's getting to the point now where he's such a valuable and established player. He doesn't necessarily need to practice the entire week. I know that you don't ever like to see his name pop up here, but no injury, so not worried about that. And then we also have a bunch of guys who were full participants today, and it would be pretty unexpected for any fully participating player to not be available for the game. You got AJ Barner with the calf. We know that he was limited last week, so he's making progress. Jake Bobo, he's headed the right way. Looks like he will be available this week. Calf injury as well. Full participant. Christian Haynes has probably been ready for a couple weeks, but again, we're probably going to push it until the last possible minute before we activate him, if we do at all. But he's been practicing in full for this is the third week now. Cooper Kupp with the hamstring and wrist, still full participant despite working through that. And he played last week, so there's no reason to believe that he would not be out there for you on Sunday. So that's good. Cody White shows up with an abdomen injury, but full participant. And Big Cat, wrist injury, full participant. So nothing to really be concerned about there. Again, it's a walkthrough, so you can't necessarily trust all the things that you see, but it looks fine. So now we've got some limited participants, and they're the guys you would kind of expect, I think. You've got Corey Horton with the groin and the shin. Remember, it was two things. Good chance that he's able to make his way back this week, but we're definitely in a situation now where Horton, we don't necessarily need him. He's pretty clearly the number 4 receiver at this point, I think. I still think that Cooper Kupp has um, the depth chart spot over Horton pretty clearly. I know that Horton's done good things this year. Not saying anything negative about Horton, but I do think that even if both were fully healthy, Kupp would be taking a majority of snaps. So Horton is not going to have a ton to do right now, I don't think. And until we get to a point where maybe Kupp looks like he's ran out of gas, there's not going to be a lot for him to do. Even punt returning stuff is not his anymore. Josh Jobe and Ernest Jones are both limited as well. I actually met both players last night at an autograph signing, so that was pretty cool. They both looked good, but Ernest Jones was limited for part of last week's practice sessions, but by the end of the week, they decided to go ahead and play it safe. It does seem like this is building towards him being available for Sunday, so that's good, but hard to know until you get there for sure. And Job, just working his way through the protocol. Generally speaking, a concussed player will miss a game and then come back for the following game, but sometimes they do miss too. Every concussion is a little bit different, so it wouldn't shock me if he's out. With the way we're getting really high-level play out of Requel in these last few games, though, we can certainly survive without Job for a little bit. And I don't even know if survive is the right word there. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll learn a lot more tomorrow about those two guys. And final limited was Gray's Abel, so that's new with the heel injury. Again, I'm not really too alarmed about anybody that's limited in practice on Wednesday. That usually means you're going to be good to go by the game. And yeah, again, today was a walkthrough, so everything was an estimation. Not concerned about it. And that's about it for the limited. So now we just have a few, well, actually, really, we only have one meaningful DNP listed. And we already knew about this one, right? Jalen Sundell did not participate with a knee injury, but guess what? We already have been basically told he's not going to play this week, and we shouldn't expect him, so that's kind of a whatever. So that's the Seahawks. I mean, once you dig in, it's not too bad. Obviously, Ernest Jones, that's a big one, and we're really hoping that that works itself out. And if the Gray Zabel heel injury turns into something that's really bad, I don't even really know what we would do in that situation, but for the time being, pretty agreeable. I'll tell you about the Rams side of things right after I tell you a little bit about a charity and some of the work my dad is doing for them. Hey everybody, Seahawks Brendan Nelson here to show you some really cool steel art for the 50th anniversary of the Seahawks and a Mariners medallion too, like the ones pictured above my head. My dad, aka Metal Hawk, has met over 300 Seahawks, dozens of Mariners, and some Sonics in his time, and now he's making unique steel art, special edition, and it can be yours for a donation directly to Fans for Good. Click the Facebook link down below for complete instructions. Back to the video. All right, so the Rams side of things is a lot shorter, although there is some pretty notable stuff here, right? You've got Devontae Adams not practicing. McVay has said that he expects Adams to be able to play on Sunday, but not practicing right now, so definitely worth keeping an eye on. He is an older player at this point, and older players sometimes do take a little bit longer to get back from stuff. And Kobe Turner, starting lineman, starting defensive tackle for the Rams with a back injury, also not practicing today. And this was not a walkthrough for them for whatever it's worth. It was an actual practice. Now, what I would say is that a big part of how the Rams probably want to attack Seattle is by attacking their interior offensive line, because they don't have Sundell. Bradford is still, from game to game, you don't know what you're going to get, and a lot of the time you do get something pretty bad. So a guy like Kobe Turner is very important to what they're going to do when the game starts on Sunday. So big deal that he's out there. Jordan Whittington, limited participant, should be available by game day given that. And Darius Williams, their cornerback, full participant, so not a big deal whatever's going on there. But obviously their list is not nearly as long as Seattle's, but they do have two very important players currently not practicing, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, that's it for the injury report today. Let me know what you guys think. I will have one more video later tonight, the college football prospect stuff for the defense. And I'll probably stream on Twitch, so keep an eye out for that. I will see you guys soon. Go Hawks, and everybody have a good rest of your Wednesday.